Welcome back in another video. In this video, we are getting unblocked. I'm gonna share with you a 4-step process to help you remove your limiting beliefs and create a new empowering belief instead, so that you can experience a fundamental shift in your life. So let's go. Now, this is a powerful 4-step process, and this is actually our NLP intervention. NLP, if you've never heard this word before, comes from neuro-linguistic programming, which is pretty much the art and science of the mind, and that it's a compilation of techniques and knowledge that a lot of coaches and trainers out there use to help people create phenomenal change and transformation and result in their lives. This process is typically a 10-step process, but for the ease and to keep it simple and to keep it to the point, and to make it as easy as possible for you to use it on your own, I reduced it, made it simpler, and compressed it into 4 simple steps that you can use alone or with a friend. Now, I'm not gonna go into what are beliefs and why they're important and how they run your life and how they manifest into your life and all of these kind of things. If you're watching this video, my guess is that you already have an idea of why and how limiting beliefs may be affecting your life. We live what we believe, and some beliefs are serving us and some beliefs are holding us back. And it's important to release those old beliefs that are holding us back so that we can bring new things into our lives. Now, with that being said, let's go straight away into this 4-step process to release your limiting belief and create a new empowering belief instead. The first step, of course, is to identify and become clear with the limiting belief that is holding you back currently. This is a process that if you're not sure about it yet, if you haven't identified your belief, if you maybe just feel like something is holding me back, I'm not sure what it is, if you're in that kind of place where you have that lack of clarity, here's something you can do. And for the whole process, I invite you to have a piece of paper and to write everything down, okay? It's much easier to put your thoughts on paper than to just think about it and get lost and confused in the process. So have a paper and a pen and get into the process. So the first step, I want you to ask this question. If you're not sure about what is the limiting belief, ask yourself this question. Think about a goal that you have. Think about something you want to achieve, something you want to create or manifest in your life. And ask yourself this. What's been preventing you from achieving this or from manifesting this? What's been preventing you from taking action? What's been preventing you from living your best life? What's been preventing you from doing X, Y, Z? And write it down. Write the story that comes up. Write the excuse. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid I'm going to fail. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I really want to do it, but it's too expensive. I can't afford it. Whatever the thought might be, just really don't bias it. Don't screen it out. Just put it all on paper, and then look back and look at what are the stories saying, what did you write, what are the main beliefs, what are the main thoughts, which one is the strongest one that you really need to work on first. And I invite you to then just circle out that one belief and proceed then to the next step. So once you did step 1 and you identified your belief and you're clear about it, step 1B is this. What we really need is to understand that we need to change. We need to understand emotionally on a deeper level, not just logically and rationally, because usually we understand rationally that, well, that belief is holding me back, but I'm still doing it. A lot of people are in this place where I know it's not good for me, I know it's holding me back, I know it's preventing me from living my true potential, but I'm not changing yet. That means that emotionally, they haven't made change a must. So what we need to do is identify the cost of this belief in your life. And so step 1.B is this. I want you to ask yourself on paper again, what has this belief cost you in the past? What has it cost you in your health? What kind of opportunity has it cost you? How much money did it cost you? What did it prevent you from doing? Ask yourself really, what has been the price that you had to pay because of this belief? What has this belief robbed you off. And I really want you to get emotionally involved in the answer, because the stronger the emotion, the stronger the pain, so to speak, the more your mind will want to change. Because when you reach a point emotionally where enough is enough, I'm done, I won't take it no more, this is when change happens, and it happens fast. So we need to create that leverage. We need to link pain to staying the same and massive pleasure to changing, massive benefits to changing. Because as long as your subconscious mind thinks that this belief is beneficial on some level, it's going to keep it. So really get involved emotionally in the answer. And once you have brainstormed all the things that it cost you in all areas of your life in the past, I want you to now answer the next question. What will this belief cost you in the future? 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 5 years from now. If you keep on going the way you're going, if you keep on letting this belief run your life the way it's been running your life, what is it going to cost you? What kind of relationship is going to cost you? What about your health, your time, the opportunity, the money, the life, your happiness, your success? How are you going to feel about yourself, about your life? So again, really go deep into what is going to cost you to stay the same into the future. And keep writing until you really feel that feeling like, I've had it, it's done, I want to change, I want to change now. Once you get that strong feeling of like, man, this is too much, you know you're ready for step number 2. And step number 2 is this. We need to identify what are the evidence. What are the evidence that are keeping that belief alive? What are the evidence that have been making that belief strong over time in your past and your experiences? Because if you're not born with this belief, then it started at some point. Either a learned behavior, or you saw it from your parents, or you've been told, or you had a past experience that created this meaning and then it became a belief. And then you go on to life looking for confirmation, looking for new evidence, looking for new experience that reinforce your belief. And then you'll be like, see, I knew it. So we need to become really clear about the main evidence that you have that support that old belief so that we can crush them. So step 2, I want you to write down on paper the answer to this question. What evidence do you have that supports that belief? So, for example, I used to be shy. So I used to know myself as I am shy. That was my thing. How do I know that? Well, I remember when I was very young, a very good friend from my parents telling my parents, well, you know, Nenad is just shy. That's how he is. He's just shy. And that was the first kind of thing, well, maybe that's true. Maybe must be true, right? I'm shy. That was one strong evidence for me. The second evidence is that I was so much more quieter than my brother, who was, widely extroverted and loud. So yeah, it must be true. I must be shy. I must be, this is my personality, right? I'm quieter. Another thing was, well, I'm, not very comfortable with strangers at first. I'd rather have like close friends or like friends I like to spend time with instead of going and talking to strangers. So yeah, I must be shy. So you see how we can create evidence that support those beliefs. And the more we go through life, the more we amass, those confirmation, those evidence. But what I really want you to identify is the main one, the strongest one, those things that keep that belief, standing, so to speak. Maybe you feel like I'm not good enough. Maybe you dropped out of school. Maybe your teacher one day told you you're stupid. Or maybe you had a past relationship and it didn't work out and you feel like it's because you were not good enough, or whatever it might be. Really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, how do I know this belief is true? What are the evidence I had in the past that really reaffirm this belief? And write them down. And pick 4 or 5 that are the main one and write those down. So that is step number 2. Of course, step 2B is to crush and destroy those evidence. Because you get to choose if it's true or if it's no longer true. Maybe it was never true. And most of the time, it's just a fabricated story, a fabricated meaning that we just live by. And it's never been the truth of who we were. Just like I was never shy, but I lived that identity. I had that self-image that I created, that were given to me. But it was not who I really was. So I want you to go through this list of 4 or 5 strong evidence that you have. And I want you to reframe them. And the best way to do that is ask yourself questions. What does this mean? What else could this mean? Is this true? Is there a counterexample to this? Meaning, is there anybody in life that I know or in the world that's famous that had similar condition and still became successful or still made it or still was happy and still overcame it? How credible is that person who told me that or said that? So if I look back at my I'm shy belief, and if I look back at that woman who told my parents, well, you know, Nana is shy, and I ask myself, how credible is that person? Well, not really credible. I mean, who is she to label kids that she barely knows whether they're shy and that's their personality? It's silly, right? So that's one way you can crush those beliefs. But I really need you to get emotionally done with those evidence. It needs to come from you. You need to choose that those evidence are no longer the truth. And just write down everything you need to do to be done and find a new meaning and reframe every one of those evidence. Once you're done with step number 2B, this is usually where we have that form of relief, where you feel like sometimes my clients even tear up because they realize and they get freed energetically, they get free emotionally from the impact, from this evidence, from all those things that they cannot been accumulating, cannot been keeping with them. So after step 2B, usually you can start to feel a sense of relief, a sense of, man, I'm so done with that old bullshit. And so now we are ready to go to step 3 and create a new and empowering belief. Because if you create a void, life will fill it. So we need to break down that belief in step 1 and 2, and then we need to choose how I'm gonna live now. Who am I gonna be now? What am I gonna create instead now? What am I gonna affirm in my life to be true now? And then you get to decide in step 3, what is your new empowering belief? So if you are to believe that you too, maybe I'm shy, you can turn it upside, you can turn it around. I'm a confident and I'm perfect the way I am. That could be a good belief. Usually the new empowering belief in my experience is the opposite. But whichever one feels most genuine, whichever new belief you feel like I need to achieve the life that I desire, to create the life that I want, that's the one you need. So I want you to just take some time to write it down on paper, and then I want you to stand up. I want you to speak it out loud. I am a confident speaker. I am confident. I am perfect the way I am. I am good enough. I am a successful business owner that helps and empowers people's life. Whatever that belief might be, stand up and speak it up. Because when you speak it up with emotion, with power, with certainty, you start to, teach your nervous system that this is the new gap, this is the new me. And then we go into step 3B. And what that might be, step 3B is to look for new evidence to make that belief strong. That's right. Just like we broke down the old belief, we need to make up the new belief, and we need to look for confirmations. So this time we're going to look at the process differently. You're going to look at your past. You're going to look at your life experience, and you're going to look at any form of evidence that you have to support that new belief. So for me, when I decided that I am confident and that I'm perfect the way I am, I looked at my life and I'm very comfortable with my close friends. I've always been very friendly and likable with people. Well, with my good friends, I can just be me freely and feel really good. So those were really strong evidence that not only I've done it, that I was doing it in certain aspects of my life, and that if I did it then, I can do it again. But if you feel like, I don't have any form of evidence, if your belief is I'm a successful business owner that helps and transforms people's life, and you feel like, I've never been in business before. Well, look at times where whatever form of service you provided. Look at times when you successfully helped other people. Look at times when you have, sold something, an idea, or convinced someone or influenced somebody in a positive way. And if you really cannot come up with evidence in your past, either look for people around you, look for successful people in books or in YouTubes or in podcasts, people that can inspire you and be like, if he did it, I can do it too. If he overcome a similar situation, I can do it too, and that's my evidence. Or make it up, because your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. Just close your eyes and imagine that you had a moment in your life where you felt like, man, this is true, I've done it before. The key really is to feel emotionally involved and being like in the answer and the evidence that, man, is true. And it's been true for a long time, and it's going to remain true, because this is who I am and how I'm going to live my life now. So it's really about the certainty that you put behind the evidence more than the evidence itself. So again, in this step, we want to be emotionally involved. And finally, we go into step 4, which is this. Now that you have this new empowering belief and the evidence to support this new belief, what kind of action, what kind of decision, what kind of way do you live life differently from this belief? If now you are a confident business owner that helps and empower people to change their life, or if now you are like a confident person and you're perfectly happy yourself, or now that you love your body and embrace the way you are, or whatever the belief might be, now that you are that, now that you're living this belief, you no longer act and react and live and make decisions the old way. So how do you make decisions differently? Write it down. How do you talk to people differently? How do you move differently? How do you sell your product differently? How do you make decisions differently? What kind of new actions do you take? What kind of new thoughts do you have? And get really clear with that. Write it down. And then choose one of those actions, one of those decisions that you can make today. Go, do it. Because the moment you not only do it mentally, emotionally, but physically, by taking action, you really cement it in this 3D reality, and you really declare it, you really affirm it, and you really express it to the universe that this is now who I am. So if you used to struggle with money, it's too expensive, I can't afford it, I don't have the money, and your new empowering belief is that I am always provided and I always have enough and plenty of money, then you might want to go to the supermarket and buy one of these things that you usually don't buy because it's too expensive, just to show that you are the deciding, creating power and force in your life, and that you have money and you always have money, and so you're going to get that, expensive, cookies or whatever you want to buy. So I hope that makes sense. This is the 4-step process to create any limiting belief that you have and to create empowering belief instead. And I tell you, from doing this process with a lot of my clients, it is amazing the result you can get. It is powerful, but you have to do it. You really have to get emotionally involved in it. And when you do, you'll be amazed by the difference you can create in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please share this video with anybody that you know that may need it, that may find it useful. And I will see you in my next video, guys. Be well.